Conclusions first, and then the influence on the environment and genetics would be a separate thing. So
like this. Gen environment.
yeah. So obviously this table is only talking about genetics, right? So if you can see, so identical twins have the exact same DNA, right? No. Identicals have the same. Non-identical have 50%. So the fact identicals have a higher percentage compared to non-identical shows there is a genetic factor at play. And then you talk about the influence being genetics, and then you'd probably spend a solid good amount of sentences just explaining why it would be genetic. And then
yeah, but I don't understand the relation. You have to link it. Okay, genetics and environment is a factor. And then you've got the factor of type 1 and type 2. Type 2 would be the environment anyway, right?
Here's the thing. It's just higher for identical. So you will say genetics have a factor, right?
Yeah.
But then you could say a statistical test might be needed. Because you say it's higher, however, non-identical is also higher. And then that's when you bring in the environment as your evaluate point. As in however, they will be in the exact same environment, same household, same parents.
I'm going to do it like this then. What do you think?
Identical.
Non-identical, genetics environment.
Yeah. So you'd say for non-identical, less of the genetics is at play. But I'll also say, so you scrapped off type 2 as just being environmental, right? Think about it. So black people are more at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So you could have the genetics that your islet makes. So type 2 is when the receptors on your liver and muscles don't respond to insulin.
Yeah.
You could just have a genetic disorder that your receptors degrade faster, or your receptors are just different. So you'd say they're both. You'd also want to compare of no DNA at all as well, like not related. Actually, no, sorry, scrap that. But yeah, you want to just talk about. You want to use every single point you can in data, quote both those units, and I would just hone in on genetics, and then just hone in on environment separately.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write here, for example, for identical between what is identical between type 1 and type 2 shows a correlation substantially greater than identical as they have the the exact same DNA.
Yeah, so higher quality, make sure you compare the values as well. So say 34 versus 16, 23 versus 5. But I would really mention, because it says explain conclusions that can be drawn from the data, so there could be a point for validity, point for comparison, positive comparison, point for negative. The mark scheme could be either way, but with these, this is a 6 marker, right? Do you mind if I? Yeah, definitely mention a point of a statistical test. Because you're making an assumption that it's significant.
T-test.
Yeah, I think you could do the chi-squared test as well. I think.
Chi-square.
Yeah, chi-squared. My bad. Yeah. So it's just
I hate 6 markers. That's where you can pick up the most marks.
and lose the most.
Exactly.
Because there's one biology question. I nailed everything, but because I forgot to mention, it was during the contraction of the heart. I think it was not the eye of Langerhans. Forgot what it was. It was something to do with the ventricles.
Oh, I remember. End of year question.
Yeah, but because I forgot to mention one thing, it took a 6 marker to a 2 marker.
I think that's good though for genetics and for identical. But then, if I've commented on genetics for identical, does that mean I'd have to comment again for non-identical or not? Well, yeah, because it's showing a correlation a little bit. Again, I can use the correlation, but opposite.
I'd say always uses text. Sorry, I wasn't actually listening. When you always uses text, they've compared 109 pairs to 505.
Well, that's not accurate.
Yeah, so that would be a validity point as well. So the validity point with statistical test. Another point is that you have a larger sample size for type 2. You can argue that there's not even enough for type 1 to make a actual comparison.
What does this mean? The scientists selected 640 pairs of twins in which at least one of the individuals had diabetes. So there's 614 times. Wait, what?
So there's 614 twins.
Yeah.
109, one has diabetes. 505, one has type 2.
So that shows that it's less common.
No, it doesn't show it's less common. It just shows that's just what they've picked out.
Yeah, no, but surely it does. No, they picked out 614, 109 pairs had type 1, 505 type 2, cool, that's fine. Science calculate the potential possibility of having diabetes when a twin has a disease. Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
And then you can also say,
I'm getting to it.
alright,
Sorry.
I'll come back and I'll
Right,
explain
if
it
you
to
want,
you.
I'll be 2 seconds.
Okay, so it's different when I can actually sit and think about it. I would personally split this
that
into...
true?
Yeah, it's a tree. I would personally split this
For
into... Yeah. I'd personally split into validity, for genetics, and for environment, or for true.
Statist?
No, stat test.
Oh.
So you got age, gender. So for example, right, if you picked a pair of twins where only one has diabetes, right, if you
What are you looking at?
nothing.
Tell me.
No, it's just someone from my old maths class. If you, let's say the person was 18, let's say the twins were 18 and 18. If the person just developed diabetes, that's not a fair test to see if it's DNA wise, if the person just developed it, if that makes sense. Like if they're very young,
Yeah. 'Cause
So-
you can't blame on genetics. It could be an outlying condition that they have that they've recently discovered.
yeah. So, because for example, the person could literally develop it the next day. It's just that you selected a pair that just developed it then, and then gender as well. Like because it's also, actually no, this would be for identical twins. You can be opposite gender and identical twins, right?
Wait, yes, I think so. Don't get distracted. You're always
No. I was just looking at you. So basically, gender is also a factor of diabetes. So let's say,
women go first. Women or men.
yeah. So let's say this was all the women had type 1, all the men have type 2. It just shows a flaw because it should be even split, male female.
Is it 50-50?
It doesn't say that. That's the point. That's
based on general knowledge.
No, men get more diabetes than
That's
women. I don't actually know that, but usually men just have it worse. So, yeah. So you'll want it split, like, yeah, just mention it's a fact. Just mention that it's not, it doesn't take into account and that it should. Age also should be taken account. Stat test, and then size because it's uneven sizing. And then I would pick one genetics point and just hone in on that.
Wait, what do you mean? Bro, that's 614. Why is that unfair?
No, it's the way it's split. 109
They should have tested
twins for type 1 and 505 for type 2. So you could argue that more is needed for type 1 or less should be used for type 2.
Is it like collecting red and green apples, yeah? You've got 600, so you've got 600 red and green apples, but you select more green apples than red apples. Like they've gone and selected, or is it just at random? 'Cause
That's the thing. That's the point. They haven't specified it. So for all we know, because when in the real world, right, in a test, it's expensive to get people to come in and test. It's people who are willing to do it. So type 2 people might just be more willing than type 1. But it doesn't actually matter which one's more common. It's just the percentage probability. To get an accurate percentage, you need a large enough sample size. So the fact the sample size is so small for type 1, you could say that's actually the percentage wrong. But anyway, for genetics, you'd say you would compare non-identical to identical. There's clearly a correlation, as those with the same DNA are more likely. So those with identical DNA are more likely for their twin to develop it as well.
I've written that.
Yeah, I'm just saying like why we do. Therefore, it can be a DNA factor. And then I would then possibly argue this is a cause.
We can collect a lot of marks. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think we can collect a lot of marks for validity as well, though.
Usually, it will just be like, it'll be level 3 response will include a factor for genetics, a factor for environment and validity, and then level 2 will be a factor for environment
And
genetics.
To an extent.
Or it will then be a very weak factor for genetics, very weak factor for environment, like weak explanation, and then rough explanation for validity. So basically 3 will just be strong on all of them, 2 will just be weak. We're not even looking at level 1. That will just be like they put a full stop at the end of their sentence or something. So
What I'm going to do is, because we're short on time for my exam, I'm just going to keep going with the rest of the questions and then come back.
No, go on the mark scheme now and see if it was right. Because what I would do before, obviously, just because I did doesn't mean it's right. I would literally look at the question, look at the mark scheme, look at the question, look at the mark scheme, and answer. Damn, it didn't even include validity. But I'm going. This is like an old question because usually the mark schemes aren't set out like that.
Look.
Oh. So it just says appropriate conclusions and an explanation. That could literally be anything. There's more though. Go down. Yeah, type 2 higher than type 1 because the percentage is higher. Yeah, look. Conclusions drawn are limited. Different number pairs. That's what.
We said that as well.
Yeah. So.
That's for validity.
Yeah, that's validity, but so it's basically the same thing. That would what we wrote down would be a point.
Okay. It's always good to read examiner, man.
It is. I'll get back to it.
I don't like label questions.
But those ones, I don't like them either.
But what is it?
That will most likely be, yeah, it's the pancreas. So that's like, that'll be the islet of Langerhans. Okay. I think that's like the acina cells. I'm not even too sure.
That's the acina.
That'll be an acinus then. That's the acinus. B, that will most likely be a duct.
Maybe secretary.
I think it'll be the pancreatic duct. Pancreatic duct. So look at. You see, it's like so for the multiple choice. I don't actually write it down. I just look at the ones, choose my answer, highlight it, and go on.
Can you see?
Pancreatic duct. Oh, blood vessel.
You named the blood vessel.
Oh.
And it was also given, A was identified as alpha or beta. As a blood vessel, red blood cells inside the blood vessel, much blood gain from principal muscles, being hair septic or see, that was
I did. No, and then she started like.
Have you done all these questions?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember seeing this one, but I must have done it. Oh, why are you doing hormonal? You have a neuronal test, no?
I don't know. It's both in it.
I don't know.
Neuronal and hormonal responses.
It might. No, I think it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this. State a feature of stem cells that allows them to be produced to produce pancreatic beta cell.
I would say the fact that.
You heard that?
Yeah, I'd say the fact they're pluripotent.
They're what?
They're pluripotent or they're undifferentiated.
But they can differentiate.
Yeah, so that. Oh, it says it right there. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to slap your thing. Yeah, allow, change, divide. Oh, ignore they are undifferentiated. Ignore total. Oh yeah, allow pluripotent.
Explain why patient receiving new beta cells is still need to be given immunosuppressant drugs. So it can't. So because type 1 is autoimmune, it would affect. It will start attacking it because it's recognized as a foreign object. So the immunosuppressor would allow for the immune system interfering to work for the to produce beta cells. Is that right?
I don't know what you said. You kind of said a long sentence, but it's quite a short
Does
answer.
that sound right?
You said it.
So the immune system doesn't start attacking the specialized cells, stem cells.
Yeah.
Because still type 1 is autoimmune. What is meant by an endocrine? Secretes to the inside,
to the blood vessel.
bloodstream.
Yeah.
Pancreas contains endocrine glands such as the iris gland that also contains that productive. So that's why the cells that productive digestive enzymes are exocrine rather than endocrine. Endocrine means exocrine means it goes out.
What does endocrine mean? What did we just say?
Endo means that it will send it into the bloodstream. Exocrine means it's out of the bloodstream.
Just not in the bloodstream.
Never gets involved with the bloodstream.
Well, not never, but it doesn't secrete into the bloodstream. It secretes via a duct. Because what it said here is that,
Yeah, no, it says it.
I meant, yeah, so doesn't have ducts is endocrine, so has ducts is exocrine.
This is a location of receptors for steroid hormones and state a reason for your suggestion.
Oh,
Hormones can be classed as either steroid or non-steroid. Steroids are lipid soluble. This location of receptors, steroid hormones, and state reason for liver?
no. This is on a receptors.
Oh, no, receptor.
Where are the receptors located? So steroid meant lipid soluble, right?
Yeah. So they're soluble in fat.
Yeah.
Outside of the cell.
So they're soluble.
No, inside the cell. Inside. They're soluble.
Yeah, so you can go through the membrane, but where does it exactly say? What's the question? Okay, yeah, where on the cell then? Where in a cell? So you think, right, if it's lipid soluble, what can it diffuse through?
Phospholipid bilayer.
So is it going to be on there or behind it?
Behind it.
Behind it. So literally name places behind the phospholipid bilayer. Yeah, and then I think it was a 2 marker, right?
Retina.
The- I mean, I suppose it could. No, why would there be a receptor on a ribosomes? What do ribosomes do?
They produce the protein.
Yeah, so where would a receptor be?
Golgi apparatus? They
No,
secrete as well. They
it's not like a.
specific place.
Let
What
me-
the vacuole? We don't have a vacuole.
Yeah, that's a plant.
We're a bit of a broken sometimes.
I think right.
Am I being stupid? I'm being stupid.
Well, you're right with what do you say, Paul? Yeah, the nucleus. It's just a cytoplasm, I'm pretty sure. It's cytoplasm and nucleus. Yeah, nucleus, cytoplasm. Oh, you literally would have got a mark for just saying inside the cell. But I doubt they're going to be that gem. Well, they were then, because they can cross the cell membrane.
Cortisol and aldosterone. In healthy people, the hormone ACTH is produced by the pituitary gland. Pretty more cortisol and aldosterone.
I'm going to do this now.
Huh?
I'm going to do this.
Okay.
Any questions?